If you desire a woman's psychological enslavement to you, using just one mind control tactic isn't enough. You need to stack a few of them together and pile it on her until she is fully absorbed into your frame. This is where Shogun Method comes in. Shogun Method is not just about picking up women. It's more than just scoring phone numbers at the bar or banging cheap skanks or having one-night stands. It's about complete and utter control, rewiring a woman's subconscious so that she sees you as her only source of meaning and identity. Shogun Method is a game for the long term, not the short term. We're talking about psychological enslavement here, and you're going to learn how to do this in 4 Shogun Method tactics: Entice, Repel, Gaslight Reframer, Deprive Reward, and Disengagement. First up, the classic Shogun Method, Entice Repel tactic. Most men fail because they give women what they want too easily. The moment she knows she has you, the game is over. This is why Entice Repel is crucial. It keeps her constantly uncertain about where she stands with you. The more uncertain she is, the harder she fights for your validation. Here's how to use Entice Repel. Let's say she asks you, "Do you think I'm pretty?" The wrong response would be, "Of course, baby, you're the most beautiful woman ever." The right response is, "You have your moments, like when the lighting is just right." Entice Repel means you reward her only when she has emotionally invested in you first. Pull her in emotionally, then push her away when she gets comfortable. If you're a shogun, you'll know this as fractionation. Instead of just enticing and repelling randomly, with fractionation, you'll take her through emotional extremes. When you take her on a high, you'll make her feel like the most desired woman in the world. And when you give her a low, you'll abruptly withdraw, making her doubt everything. Then, repeat the cycle to condition her to crave the highs and tolerate the lows just to be with you. Let's say you take a woman on an amazing date, full of laughter and affection. She feels on top of the world. But the next day, you ignore her texts completely. No explanation, nothing. When she finally reaches a breaking point and demands to know what's wrong, you act distant but not hostile, just enough to make her crave your warmth again. Then, when she's about to pull away in frustration, you pull her back in with a small dose of affection, just enough to keep her hooked. To a woman, fractionation is like an emotional drug. She'll chase the highs and tolerate the lows because she is addicted to your approval. For more on fractionation, sign up for the free Fractionation online masterclass at fractionation.org. Next up, we have the Gaslight Reframer. Understand this. Gaslighting is not as simple as lying. It's about rewriting her perception of reality. The goal is to make her so emotionally enslaved that she'll trust the man she's emotionally addicted to more than her own instincts. The first step in the Shogun Method Gaslight Reframer is to create doubt. When she remembers things that put you in a bad light, make question her own memory. For example, if she accuses you of flirting with another girl, don't simply deny it. Say, "That's crazy. You're being paranoid again. I was just playing nice." Or you can use the reframer to recast negative situations into positive, twisting any confrontation into one that's favorable to you and bad for her. For instance, let's say she complains you're not spending enough time with her. Apologizing and saying you'll spare more time for her is wrong. Instead say, "Babe, you're getting a little too needy. I always have some time for you, but you're asking too much. Why? Why are you always like this?" A good line to tag onto your gaslight reframers is, "Why are you always like this?" Repeat it enough, she'll believe whatever you tell her, that she's always like what you accuse her of, no matter if it's true. Gaslighting is amplified when combined with the third Shogun Method, psychological enslavement tactic, deprivation and reward. The more you deprive her of something she craves, the more susceptible she is to believing whatever you tell her just to stay in your good graces. To say it bluntly, women are slaves to validation. The moment you understand this, you'll realize that controlling her access to your attention is more powerful than any words you could say. Never respond to her immediately. Make her wait. Let her mind simmer in its own stew of anxiety. Even better, ignore her after sex. Most men cuddle and talk with a woman like a woman. Get up and leave the room. This triggers emotional anxiety that you'll release her from later as part of fractionation. In Shogun Method, you'll learn how to give her selective affection by praising and validating her only when she behaves how you want. In the IRA model, the Shogun goes for maximum deprivation and reward cycles to push a woman to emotional enslavement. For more information on the IRA model, download a free book at iramodel.com. Okay, so we've come to the fourth and final Shogun Method psychological enslavement tactic. We call this tactic disengagement. To disengage is to show indifference and establish distance with her. You want her to feel she's always on the brink, making her feel like she's losing you. And when she's at her most desperate, just pull her back a little, just enough to reinforce her addiction to you. This way, she'll bend over backwards to earn your love, even if she never truly receives it. I've saved this tactic for the last because it's the most effective when done right. The truth is, women would rather be hated than ignored. The disengager tactic exploits this by making her feel worthless and invisible. When she crosses a boundary, go completely silent. No explanations, no reactions. When she acts up, withdraw your presence. Let her feel your absence like a knife to the gut. When she begs for attention, wait longer than she expects before acknowledging her. The bottom line is that a woman must fear losing you more than she desires any other man. By using the disengager at the right moments, she'll associate misbehavior with unbearable loneliness, a punishment she'll do anything to avoid. One final tip. If you use only one of these psychological enslavement tactics, you'll see some results, no doubt. But if you combine them strategically, you create a psychological cage she'll never escape from. So, what you need is a strategic game plan for all four of these Shogun Method tactics. First, start with Entice Repel to get her emotionally hooked. Then, use the Gaslight Reframer to make her trust you over her own mind. Apply Deprivation and Reward to keep her desperate for your approval. Finish with the disengager whenever she steps out of line. By the time she realizes what's happening, it'll be too late. She'll be obsessed with you beyond logic or reason. Now, if this is exciting to you, here's a bigger reason to be thrilled. What I've shared here is only the beginning. You've seen mind control and emotional enslavement in action, something 99.9% of men will never understand. The next logical step for you is the Shogun Method online masterclass at fractionation.org. Inside, you'll learn how to weaponize tactics like fractionation and Shogun sequences for ultimate psychological enslavement. But here's the catch. Not everyone qualifies. This is for the strong and the smart, the men who'll do whatever it takes to win. Shogun Method is purely for the virtuous and the masculine. If that's you, then do this. Go to fractionation.org and join the Shogun Method revolution today.